Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry about that. Hit the wrong button. Just wanted to replay. Howdy, folks. Welcome back to the show. As you can see from the title, I'm going to go over the Red Room's Game Jam 2024 results, submissions, the things that I was asked to go over, and why I rated them the way I did. A little bit on my rating system for this particular project, and whether I would recommend them to you. You know, we all have our own opinions on everything. So if anything I say doesn't jive with your opinion, go check it out for yourself. As far as I know, most of them are free. Most of them were very small. You know, not like 100 pages or anything like that. You know, 10. You know, one was only 2 pages. So they're easily gotten a hold of to throw into whatever wretched game you're running, or even other games, as some of them are completely usable for things like Traveler or Call of Cthulhu or Dark Conspiracy, games like that. If that's your jam, cool. So right off the bat, I had 5 categories, and I rated each thing with 1 to 5 stars for each category. Very few got 5s. Just saying, I'm a pretty brutal critic when it comes to things. There's things I like, and I did look at it from, you know, a wider perspective than just my own opinion, thinking that, you know, who else might enjoy something like this. So the categories were interesting concept, whether it was a good or bad concept, whether it was entertaining, whether the entire composition was something that I, you know, was glad I read, let's put it that way. Was it easy to play or fit into an existing campaign, game setting, scenario? Would there be a lot of work to shoehorn it into the average person's, you know, gaming portfolio, let's say? Was it recommendable? Would I recommend it to other people? I'm recommending it to everybody, but for the specific people that I know and the circles that I run in, could I recommend it to newbies and folks like that, and think that they would get a kick out of it? And then the final one is overall excitement. Was I like, did I want to play this one? In a couple of cases, there were some that I would jump into that game both feet, no problem. The first one, though, and I'm going to go my least favorite to my favorite in that order. Sorry, but it was Wretched Dixie. I just don't see a huge market or a lot of people that want to play a Civil War, War of Northern Aggression, whatever you want to call it, role-playing game scenario. Even if you were a time-traveling group of player characters, the Civil War would be one of the least enjoyable settings to pop into. So out of you know, an average of 5 stars, it only got 1.8. Sorry. There was one thing I really did I'll give you credit for, because I don't know who wrote what. The whole part about John Wilkes Booth and the golden cult thing that was going on there, I thought that was kind of interesting, because I do remember reading some stuff about that when I was a youngster. The next one, this one got a 2.4 out of 5 possible stars, was the Black Protocol. It's a bad guy group that you can wedge into any more or less contemporary, modern-ish RPG, you know, maybe from the 60s on up, with a, you know, a breakdown of a bunch of bad guys who I just didn't find all that memorable. Mostly despicable, I'll give you that, but they just didn't grab me in a way that's any different from the usual super villain group, you know, world domination, high up kind of globalist characters. A little more work to make them a little more different. They all seem just to be a bunch of rich degenerates with too much money and time on their hands. A little bit more detail into what really makes them next level in the way of bad guys. The next one was Necropolis. It was a fantasy setting, you know, with some politics and things like that. It got a 2.8 out of 5. I think it would be entertaining. That's where you get your highest marks. And I could see, you know, playing through it. If I was in a game and this sort of segment came into the game, I wouldn't, you know, nope out. And I think I could enjoy it. But it was just a little too much of things I've seen before, a whole bunch of other times. But it wasn't awful. There were a couple of things, you know, that got at least the 3 stars, but recommendable. There wasn't enough to grab me to say, hey, this is, if you're playing fantasy, you got to do this. Maybe boosting up a little more of the NPCs or the history, or maybe even the monsters or the treasure. You know, big fan of treasure. That might have helped out. The next one, probably a surprise to everybody. The Ghosts of Nibiru got a straight 3 out of 5. Just it reminded me too much of Rendezvous with Rama, but twisted and dark, and maybe, you know, kind of like a what was that movie? God, what was that horror movie? God, it's right on the tip of my tongue. I'll probably remember it later. But just you know, if you'd gone to Rama, or you know, some other space station that was just filled with creepy undead ghosts and things like that, instead of the Event Horizon. That was the name of the movie. It had a very Event Horizon theme to it, and it was very interesting. The concept was a little, like I said, a little played out. I've seen it before. The entertaining, it did look very interesting in the way of the exploration and the investigation aspect of it. Sorry, my dog's being dumb. Could I recommend it? It's going to need a little bit more. I suppose I could recommend it to my friends who are into the whole ancient alien thing, but I'm kind of burnt on all that as well. Overall excitement. It did seem pretty hairy, you know, with the increasing threat levels, but that's my 2 cents on that one. The next one was End of Innocence. Here we're getting into the ones I enjoyed a lot more. I'm a big fan of the kids on bikes, sort of Stranger Things kind of games. It always, even as a youngster, we played a lot of those before they had a name to them. Usually we called them victim games, from Beyond the Supernatural, where you roll up a normal person and it was just a matter of when you died, not if you died. It was cute. Needs more NPCs. A checklist was missing, but for the most part, I enjoyed it. Love that genre, so do more. Definitely. Oh, and by the way, it also got a solid 3 stars, but I put it above the other one because I liked it more. Then was the Red Chad Best Boys. I got a 3.4 because I laughed my ass off, even though it was only 2 pages. I really enjoyed it. I know, I'm pretty certain it was for men, the RPG, and I need to actually find I heard today from Bubba that there's a wretched version of men, because the mechanics in the original, not really my cup of tea. Not a big fan of dice pools. I know that somehow makes me less of a man, but I like to throw all my stuff on a single game of pitch and toss, and you know, take my chances, as opposed to, you know, needing more dice. 1 die, flip a coin, take my chances and suffer the consequences, or walk out victorious as the fates see fit. So I really liked it. It was funny. Keep doing that stuff, please. Keep, whoever you are, do more of that. And as soon as you publish it, you can count on me buying a ticket, or buying a copy. The next one is One Way Ticket. Yeah, that was I kind of enjoyed that one. It got a 3.5. Very interesting. Uh, Mid-level concept, 3 stars there. Entertaining, yeah, absolutely. I love the whole prison break idea. I'm always trying to get my player characters, thrown in jail or a dungeon or something, and having to, escape. I love that whole idea. Get all their stuff taken away and see if they can, pick the lock with a chicken bone and luck. Just love that whole idea. Easy to fit into any game you're playing. 4 stars on that. The only thing it definitely recommended. It did get 3 stars though. In the overall excitement, I think you could, pump up the danger level just a little bit more, make it a little more exciting. Otherwise, definitely something I'd be interested in seeing more of. Wretched New Flesh. Now we're getting into the well, we're already into the top 3, I guess. I thought, oh, okay, yeah, we're in top 3. This one got 3.6 out of 5. Almost 4 stars in everything. Definitely interesting. Definitely a good concept. Entertaining. I'd have to play it to really find out. I'm not a big fan of cyberpunk and that sort of thing, so that's me, but definitely could fit into a lot of sci-fi games that I'm running, and overall excitement. It definitely seemed very fun because it's a PvP situation, and I don't want to give away too much, but it sounded like a really fun one shot. If you had like 4 to 6 hours, and you kind of wanted to stick it to your buddies just once, you've been playing with them forever, and fighting side by side, and now that one little thing that was grating on you, it's like now's a chance to just like screw all your friends and see who comes out winner kind of thing. So that was interesting. You don't see enough of that, probably because most gamers can't handle it. But I think the people that watch this show, I think they'd be very down with something like that. And my favorite, with a solid 4 stars, nothing got a perfect score, so nobody feel bad. This is just my opinion. The Beyonders was my favorite, solid 4 stars on just about everything, even though it did get a couple of 5s. Some of the things that it didn't, made the average. It's a very V-like invasion Earth, where it is one of the larger submissions, so it's a more or less a campaign idea where the Earth is invaded by people from the beyond, from Wretched Lore, and the players are resistance fighters or maybe collaborators. I would jump to be in a game like that, where you're trying to stick it to the new aliens and fight back. I love Dark Skies and a lot of those other kinds of TV shows and stories where the aliens come down and we got to fight back. Kind of Red Dawn style, but with aliens instead of commies. But who knows? Maybe they're alien commies. But that was my favorite of all of them. Keep doing whatever it is you're doing, guys. Those of you who submitted things, all of them definitely. None of them got like really bad marks all the way down. You guys all have talent. I'd love to see more. Hopefully next year there'll be more submissions, but more submissions from you guys. And if you guys want to reach out to me and send me more on what you'd already done, or if you have a revised edition of it, something like that. Most of them, except Wretched Dixie, sorry, I'll never use it. Everything else, definitely enjoyed it. Glad I could participate. And for everybody else out there, go check out the Red Room. I guarantee they got something that's right up your alley. They make the best games that have been put out in probably the last 20 or 30 years. That I've seen the most love and attention to detail and the most well-rounded, solid game systems out there. Miguel and Sylvia, thanks again. Keep up the good work, and let me know what the next project is, and maybe I'll review that one next time. So, from me, your faithful game reviewer. I hope you guys enjoy this, even though this is mostly for the 9 contributors. If you want to know more, go over to the Red Room. They'll hook you up with whichever one of these sounds interesting, or something you might be interested in running or playing. I'm sure you can talk to the people over there. As for me, I gotta go do people stuff. So I will see you guys tomorrow, I believe, with a review of Best of Dragon Magazine #4. Nothing spectacular, but I'm doing this series, so I will see you guys all then. Have a great rest of your evening. Love you guys. Until next time, happy trails.